Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to an insightful hour with Sparsoft's newest podcast series, which are called Make It Easy, where we free dive into the world of technology. Hi, I'm your host. My name is Sandra, and today we have together with us Marcin Ludwig from our office in Wroclaw, Poland. How are you doing, Marcin?
Fine. Hello. Nice to meet you. And yeah,
How did your day start?
it was pretty tough morning, I would say, because yesterday we had a dinner with our one of our clients, and I went bed pretty late. So yeah, it was tough morning. But yeah, and we are starting recording this video pretty early because right now it's around 8 o'clock or something.
So, did you have time for breakfast?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually interesting. Okay, I will need some time management classes from you. That besides the technical master
Yeah.
classes that I need from you. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you end up into software development,
Mm-hmm.
studies? I don't know, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure. So I'm professionally programming since I think 12 years. Before that, I finished studies also related to internet technologies. So right now I'm focused or I'm specialized in front-end things, especially in front-end architecture. Previously, I also was working as a backend developer, so I would say like I'm kind of full stack guy. But right now I'm mostly focused on front-end stuff.
Is it because you like front end more or because you got bored of back end?
I think both.
Okay.
Yeah. At some point of time, in one of the companies that I was previously working, there was a lack of front-end guys, and I started liking more the front-end stuff. So yeah, I like I switched to the front-end thing, and yeah, I'm here right now.
Okay, and speaking about here, when did you join Sparasoft?
Around 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly, something like that.
So you're a veteran in Sparasoft.
Yeah, you may say that.
Okay. And if I understood correctly from our prior conversations, you also are a YouTuber.
Yes.
What do you do there?
I have a YouTube channel called Frontend Architecture, and on that channel I'm speaking about in general JavaScript, front-end architecture, but also topics like business communication, team leadership, project management. So not only like a technical stuff, but also I would like to speak there more like about soft skills and project management.
I mean, I think that's appropriate for full stack, you know all the technical stacks, but also.
Yes, but the way I'm seeing is the higher you are in a hierarchy, and the more you understand that technical aspects are pretty easy, and the more advanced or the more trouble is with dealing with business. So business communication, understand what business would like to achieve, and helping them to do this. And this is like the real challenges, because if you know what to do, you will find the solution. But if you are, for example, junior regular developer, in my opinion, most of those people are focused mostly on like a more technical stuff, how to fix or solve technical issues rather than business ones.
Okay, and just shooting a question. If you were to maybe think about proportions, how much of your day you spend actually coding and doing purely technical stuff, and how much of your day do you spend doing this, like organizing things, making them match, understanding the business?
Mm. Oh, I never thought about in that context. I can say something different. So there is a difference. For example, if you're a junior developer or senior or even higher developer, because right now, for example, if I'm writing the code, this is like the last step of the solving the problem. So when I'm writing the code, I'm just for me, it's like a mechanical task. Previously, I need to think how to solve the problem, and this writing the code is just last step. Okay, just finish the job. Yeah, so this is the right now the less consuming time. But of course, there are a lot of meetings, and it's hard to say if, for example, figuring out the problem is related to business or not. But because very often, okay, you don't have enough information, and you have to make a call with someone, ask something, etc. So in my opinion, right now I may be spending around 30% or percent of my time writing the code, maybe even less, and the rest of the time I'm spending on other activities like a communication or thinking how to solve or how this solution should look like.
I feel like that is quite appropriate for our day-to-day life as we evolve in seniority and we start to know how to do our tasks faster, but we take more time to understand. I think there was a joke. I don't know if you know it. It's something broke on a boat, and the dude came in, basically took the hammer, did the one, I don't know how to call that, when you just
Yeah,
hit with the hammer. He did one, everything got fixed, and then he built something like 1,000 euros. And the person paying asked, "Why are you billing me so much? You basically just hit with the hammer once. I could have done that." So the dude's answer was, "Well, I bill you 1 euro for the actual hitting. The rest is billed for my knowledge and everything that got me to this point for me to be here. Just hit it once and get things done."
And to be known in which part you should hit.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's a joke. I don't think it's an anecdote or something. I think it's literally a joke, but I think it fits with what you just
Yeah, I
said
think
somehow.
it has true in some sense.
Yep.
Yeah, because you have to know what to do and where, for example, if there is a problem, how to fix it or where to fix it, or on which parts should you focus, which are important, which not. Because in like programming, there is very often there are pros and cons, yeah, and all you can always create the most beautiful or the best code, but usually you don't have time to do it in a whole application. So you should know, okay, in which parts of the application you should focus, and those parts of the application should be very well written, and maybe others don't or doesn't, because it won't change so much. It isn't so important for the business, and etc.
Okay, okay. So, coming back to our topic of conversation today, although I loved how it went up until now, and I would love to get back to that. What is front-end architecture and how does it help us?
Okay, maybe I'll explain what architecture in general is, and then I will get to the front-end part. So architecture has many definitions, but that one of the definitions that I like most is architecture is a series of hard-to-change definitions, decisions. And what does it mean? So if we will choose one specific technology, for example, framework or architecture, like a monolith or microservices or distributed systems architecture, those decisions will be hard to change. So they will stay with us for years. And this is why the most difficult part in the architecture, because very often we don't know future requirements, and we have to do something right now, but those requirements might change in the future. So explaining it in a more natural world. So let's say we would like to build a building, yeah, but right now we are building a normal house, but after 2 years the requirements change, and right now we would like to build a very tall building, like 10 floors, yeah, and after 5 years another we would like to have only 4 floors, but for another 5 years we would like to have a skyscraper, yeah. So in building, it is almost impossible to do such changes, but it's normal in a programming that we don't know what will be the future, but we still have to do something flexible to be able to change it or adjust it in the future.
So basically, you need to foresee or at least leave enough room to change things in the future.
Yes, but you also because there is also like a cost of something, yeah, and you can always choose the like a most scalable architecture, but there is a cost of that, yeah, because for example, it is more advanced, so you need to have people which are capable of doing this kind of architecture. There is a tools cost very often, and yeah, so you have to like find the middle, which is something which will be scalable in the future, but isn't no more the too advanced at the beginning, because the more advanced architecture, it will take more time to finish the job.
Okay, and how does front-end architecture differ from back-end architecture?
There are a few differences. First of all, first difference, and I think the biggest one, is that in most of the applications on backend side, we have the core logic. So there are exceptions like gaming. If you have a game on front end side, okay, then you will have also the whole logic on the front end side. But beside that, the whole logic in most of the applications lives in backend side. So, but right now the time changed a little bit, because previously front was responsible only like for doing simple stuff. Basically, it was for displaying data from backend side and very simple interactions. And right now it changed, and it changed a lot. So front applications right now are going to be more complex. So we have a lot of logic, like we have to cache data on the front-end side. We have complex state management very often. So we have also mobile. So very often there is an offline mode. So for example, if you don't have internet, still applications needs to be working in that case. And then if connections go back, then synchronize from the, for example, from the backend application. So right now applications are more complex comparing to it was like 5, 10, 15 years ago. And the next difference is that we have different challenges. So for example, on the front end is responsible for like a visual part, yeah, and it has its own challenges. Like we have something of like a called design system. Design system is like a unified visual for our application, which may be changed, and very often those design systems are shared via multiple applications. So this is one thing. Another thing, we have something called cache on the front end, so like a in-memory database, let's call it. Yeah. So in backend side we have databases, but also on front end side we have this cache or state management, which also needs to be shared. And the next thing is also that in context of DDD on or domain-driven design, it's a advanced topic, and it also differs comparing to front-end or back-end. Because on back-end we have I think backend will be more focused on the DD part called strategic design, and on front-end part will be focused more on tactical DDD. The difference is that tactical DDD is more about how the code is structured, and strategic DD is about domain itself and how the business logic is divided. Of course, on the front part we also have those parts, but I think they are less important because the core logic lives in backend. And also there are challenges in a frontend related to that, because very often you have to get data from multiple domains or multiple multiple domains, multiple endpoints. So comparing to backend, you can have like a strict line which will divide one domain to with another. But on frontend part, there is very often those domains are mixed. So in one screen, we'll have to get anyway data from multiple endpoints, from multiple domains, and that's the challenge.
If my understanding is correct, basically, front end and back end need to match. Back end is in charge of logical
Of business logic, huh?
business logic, and front end is responsible of tactical.
Yeah, but in the context of DDD, DDD is like
Yes.
one of the concepts that you can create your applications. Not everyone is using this. It's more popular, in my opinion, on backend side because it started from there, and yeah, it's more frequently used on backend side. Right now, yeah, some of the people are using it on front end, but it's not so popular there.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, basically, you're just iterating and reiterating and having multiple versions. You're trying to foresee future upgrades that can be brought. You're trying to make a scalable solution, right? And there's only so much you can actually foresee.
What do you mean by that?
You can think that maybe 5 years from now you will need that, so you can foresee into the future.
But you shouldn't foresee the future. You should ask the business what they would like to have or how they see the application, the business for a few years. But the real challenge here is because if you ask your business, okay, what they look like in 5 years from now, they don't know. Yeah, so you have to ask them, okay.
Get a crystal globe and
Yeah, something like more precise question. Yeah, do you want to your system to be fast? Yeah, do you want to be ready for mobile? Yeah, if you do you plan, for example, mobile application in the future, or do you maybe would like to start with mobile application? Do you need offline mode and such kind of questions? So more like a detailed questions which could answer your questions related to architecture.
so you're basically playing 20 questions. You're asking and they say yes, no, and based
Yes.
on that you get a better idea of
Yes.
what's coming up. Okay, that's thank you. I understand a little bit better now. Here's maybe collateral question. Do you think AI can do it better than a human? Do front-end architecture better than a human?
Right now, I don't think so because it's not about doing architecture. It's about figuring out what other people want. Yeah, and right now I don't think so that AI is capable of because yeah, this is I think the most challenging thing in programming. Yeah, to figure it out what other people want and yeah, because technical part, if you know what to do, the technical part at some level is pretty easy because it's just how to solve the issue, but how to get to the point where you want you know what you should solve. This is the real challenge. In my opinion, backend is more mature and people from since years have good practice. And on the front-end side, is this much more freedom, and there is no advanced patterns so far. So and a lot of people jumping from project to project and don't see results of their work after years, because working with architecture is that you have to be in a project at least few years to see if the decisions you took were good or bad. Yeah, because you won't see it after 1 year. Yeah, because the project is changing and you can see if the decision was good very often after a few years.
Thank you for explaining to me. I am sure that our listeners will find it quite interesting what you said up until now. And I have another question. It's tangent to what we talked up until now. You were talking in the beginning about that balance between developer work and understanding the bigger picture of what you're actually doing. So I'm quite curious how you feel about Agile and Scrum approaches. Do you like them? Do you not? Do you use them on a daily basis? Kanban, I don't know what else there is as methodologies.
In last projects, I think it was mixed because it depends on the client. Because to be able to work in agile, the whole company has to be agile. Yeah, and if the one team is working in agile, then but you still have like a strict deadlines, and you have to deliver something up to one specific date, and there is a hard deadline, and you have to deliver everything. Yeah, so it isn't agile. Yeah, it's like a partially implemented. So the whole company needs to change to be agile, and it is very hard because very often we like trying to change how company is working. Yeah, and of course we are working in agile, but also we are showing the companies how they can different work on that matter, because very often, especially corporations, have like a strict processes and they are working in waterfall, but right now in context of software, very often it doesn't make sense because, for example, their requirements are changing very often. Yeah? And in waterfall approach, we will get this feedback after I don't know, for example, 1 year. Yeah, but very often after I don't know, maybe 3 years, 3 months, or even half an year, your concurrence did something. Yeah, and you have to adjust and do it. Also, yeah.
You
So
need to meet the competition.
yeah, yeah. So if you do it after 1 year, they will have like a they will have advantages.
I'd
Yeah,
rather not do it if you do it 1 year later, right?
yeah, yeah. It don't make sense. Yeah, then so you have to adjust, and Agile offers that, but also like you have to change your processes, how the whole company is working or thinking about the processes. Because if you would like to implement something, but then you're fighting with management that you can't get decisions, or you don't have budget, or you can't change something in the fly, then it won't work.
Yep, yep, got it. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners today?
Maybe we had yesterday live, and there was one question, so
Okay,
maybe I will answer it.
if you want, I can read it.
I will read it because I would like to
Okay,
change it a little bit.
okay,
Yeah, I will
that would
read
be
it
perfect.
from the phone. So yesterday there was an event where I was speaking about distributed system defects, and also about Webpack module federation and how it fits to that. And one of the stories that I was speaking about, there was a story about the girl that she was working in a company where there were two applications, and she updated, and those two applications were built using Webpack module federation, and she updated version in one of applications, and this caused the error in another application. And the question was, shouldn't this change be consulted with another teams? And I partially agree, because if you would like to have a distributed system architecture, there are few good requirements to have that. First of all, is you would like to have independent teams. Another second point is independent deployments. Third thing is you'd like to have different applications on different regions. So we'd like to, for example, to display application only for Americans, or different applications for people from America and different for people from Poland. There are, I think, 2 or maybe 3 points, right now I don't remember, which are very good use for this distributed system or micro frontend. And so, for example, it depends on the case. If you would like to have independent teams, then it isn't the case, yeah, because the teams then should be fully independent. And if you will use Webpack with module federation, which will have like a shared library like React, then you're stuck to this technology, but because still your teams have to communicate to each other, and should be like a middle ground, and you can't do everything everywhere. Yeah, like if you would like to do any small change, will be communication cost, because every time you will have to speak with another team. Okay, can we do it or not? Yeah, so you'll lose this independency. So, put it simply, it is depending on the case. Yeah, no, it might be true, but it might be not. It depends on for what you are using this solution.
So, as usual, as any answer in life, the real answer is it depends.
Yeah, especially in programming.
Awesome. Marcin, I think that's our time for today. Thank you so much for being our guest in the
Thank you.
podcast. And I really hope to see you again. And you and our followers. So, this is Sandra from our Wroclaw office, together with Marcin, talking about front-end architecture. See you next time, guys.
Thank you. See you next time.
High
Bye.
five. We did it.